In the den with the crew, getting ready to do a little bit of D&D 5th edition live play. So, we'll jump right in first with a quick recap. Last week, pretty intense as the party exits out of the Red Brand hideout that was underneath the manor house. And we had Oberge Gron trying to catch up to the glass staff, as it would be, but came upon him talking to a couple red bands and they were going back to town. Go and listen to the playback to find out what was said, and then listen a little bit later what actually Oberge Gron said, and they do not actually mesh up completely. That's okay. So then they moved back to Oberge Gron went back to gather up the party, and they met each other as they were coming out of the dungeon. The party did save several people from that were held up in pens that the Red Brands were keeping in some side of their underground lair. And I am looking for her name. Anybody remember her name?
Miriam?
Mira.
Yeah. So
Mira, yeah.
Close enough. I'll give it to you, Jet. You get 1 RP point for remembering before the DM did.
Oh,
so once again,
I
nobody's
think Dave got it.
It's
He was
Mirda.
closer than I was.
It's Mirda, but it was the name. It's all right.
Okay.
Dave's gotten plenty of RP points before. Now, just also to refresh your guys' memory, remember, RP points before you say you're going to make a roll, before the results is read, you can apply them to anything. You can apply it to, you can even apply it to your armor class to, like, try to make a miss, but it has to be before the actual physical roll or something like that is seen. Or if you want to add it all to damage because you really got to take this opponent out. You know, you guys basically just keep track of those RP points, and usually it's for coming up or catching stuff or remembering certain parts of the narrative that helps push the story along. So, I'm fumbling for my online documents, apologize, as I'm looking around and don't have enough windows open. Ha! There it is, got it. Okay, I'll move this over here now. When you guys come back into town, you dropped Myrna's kids off at at the elderly farm, and asked Quillen Elderleaf, who was Carp's mother, if she could look after her 2 kids, and that you were gonna bring her back. And had a long night last night, so I'm just forgetting everything. So I apologize, guys. And okay, so it's Myrna, and she has 2 children with her. She has her 18-year-old daughter Nilsa and her 13-year-old son Nars. So you drop Nilsa and Nars off at the elderly's household, and then trudged back to the Stonehill Inn. Lo and behold, find your nemesis sitting at the bar talking to Sildar. And why is that not working? Oh, I got the game paused. Apologies, guys. I'm just really blowing everything today. Yep. I'm getting in the groove. I'll get there. And you see that Inaro Albrick, or the Glass Staff is what the Red Brands were calling him, sitting at the bar with a couple of his Red Brands talking to Sildar. Uh, Basically, he was still professing that he was undercover, and you were professing that he was a murderer and a horrible person. He then pointed out that you killed all his people, which also makes you guys murderers as well, and a lot of heavy shouting and argumenting came through. Sildar protected his friend because he said he's known Inaro for years, and what you're saying about him is pretty grave, and he defended his friend when it looked like Oberstgrad was going to try to commit violence. But he backed off, and it was pretty much blurted out that he was here doing research to find the Wave Echo mine, which was broadcast in the entire main room of the inn, which he didn't want to do, but felt that he needed to say something to try to defuse the situation because it was going to escalate into violence, and that's not what he wanted. Then you guys all went back to the back conference table, and you guys pretty much called him out for not keeping a handle on his red brands, and he, was the first thing he heard about was them actually killing somebody, but there was no proof actually presented, and he was actually pretty upset that you killed all his underlings that were supposed to be protecting the town, but they were doing a pretty horrible job and acting like a bunch of bullies. He didn't necessarily think that they all should have been killed for it, but this is his perspective. Sildar is kind of caught in the middle because he definitely trusted you guys, young, brash adventurers, sure, but also saved his life and also pledged to help find his friend Gunrich. And, he alluded that Gunrich, Inaro, and him were the ones that set up this whole situation to help Gunrich find the ancestral mine of his forefathers and to find the Echo Wave Caves, which is somewhere near Fandalen and in this area. Then we had Velfred, your mage and member of the Golden Strand, pretty much go toe to toe with Inaro with talks and accusations, but Velfred kind of keyed in, seeing that Inaro is pretty obsessive about his research. And as soon as it was mentioned about the research of finding the cave, once again, Inaro seemed to just, everything you guys were talking about was pushed from his mind, and was he didn't really even care. And he started laying out his notes and telling Valfred about some of the discoveries that he made, as you guys were also trying to inquire if he was full of garbage or if he was actually doing this research with Sildar. And Sildar, kind of watching this transaction, sees that, he's kind of sees that this is what Inaro has been doing, whether it was under the guise of, using a name so it wouldn't draw that it was a Golden Strand or not. But he kind of seems that this just basically looks like a situation that went pretty sideways. Though he did feel that a lot of these red brands were kind of scum and definitely mercenaries, so he's not really heartbroken that they got killed, though I don't think he fully knows the tally of the body count you guys have left in the wake. So, though nobody has come forward and tried to claim or put responsibility of basically killing 16 individuals. Granted, probably they were all in self-defense, or at least appeared to be. That is yet to be seen, but that's pretty much the talk of the town. So, seeing that Inaro isn't really even considering any of the ideas of what you're putting across, and believing that he may be above any kind of justice that you as a group can dispense out within the bounds of law, he just kind of goes back and keeps talking about his research. And at this point, Annie, even though everybody else didn't know, just to prove that it's about the research and getting this done for Gunrich that he even gave Belford his glass staff. He's like, fine, take the staff as long as you can get me the information I need to finish my mission to find, this out, because that's what I was tasked to do. So at that point, everybody kind of got tired of these two wizards, kind of talking and quizzing each other and foiling with words, and pretty much everybody went out to the bar. And Oberstgrand actually was talking to one of the red brands that was out there drinking. I think at this point they realize, out of like 25 men, they're only the last two still employed by Naro, and one is drunk on the bar. You probably get the indication that a bunch of his friends were killed, so he probably drunk himself because he was upset. And the other guy's like, look, I was paid to keep an eye on things, and that's what I did. I didn't catch all these things that you're talking about. I don't want to die, so, I didn't do anything, so, let me buy you a drink. And Oberstbrand bought him a drink, and, they're kind of in shock that, their whole peacekeeping force was completely annihilated. So, and I understand that, it seems like a lot of the group is kind of hot-headed because it doesn't seem, fair or to what they aligned with what they think has happened from their perspective. But, there's always other things always at play. And though you may perceive things maybe one way, they still may be another. So, on that point, I'm going to open it up to our team as we try to find where the bodies are, and we go to the road ahead. So we're gonna go with the social leader and the handsome Darius.
I am gonna ask the barkeep for a room.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go straight in the game. We're not gonna do introductions. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. I blew it. It's mine. I'm totally over it. Everybody knows who it is now. I don't think anybody who's been watching at least parse some of these. They know everybody is. So, but yeah. So you guys actually all still have rooms, unless you're wanting a private room.
No, good.
But you guys still have your rooms paid for, and even Dolan said, like, hey, I'll tell you what, guys, and he like leans over, and I'm gonna say Darius kind of moved over here next to Oberstgrand, kind of leans in. It's like, hey, I mean, honestly, I think a lot of those red brands were kind of trash. I think you did us a favor. I'll tell you what, because I don't want any trouble. Definitely don't want any blood that's terrible to clean up. Sildar said to comp you guys the rooms for tonight, and so yeah, don't worry about paying for the rooms for tonight.
Alrighty.
And he actually kind of looks a little nervous when he's saying this to you, like seeing all of you hanging out here, and you all seem kind of upset and a little agitated. He just looks a little nervous. Crom comes up. I'm thirsty. Oh wait,
I'm gonna get an ale as well.
Actually, forget. Crom is actually here this week, so Crom will be playing himself, and I will be playing Valfred and Ymir because they're both unfortunately out tonight.
You guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Better.
All right. Using the good headphones on the app, so.
And it sounds amazing. You sound great.
Sound great. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
It's your radio
Cool.
voice, man.
Nope, got some nice
stealth.
Kingston headphones here, some HyperX.
Nice. Did you hear all the stuff I just spouted out?
I missed about the last 2 minutes while I was reset my Discord password.
Okay, not a big deal. So basically, you're all out in the bar. Valfred and Jet are still in there with Inaro and Sildar. Whoa! Everything just kind of blinked out here. I wonder if I lost the stream.
Uh-oh.
It's been that kind of night. Huh, that's really weird. Did you just join, Robin? Because I lost, like, all my pictures, and I'm not sure if we're still live.
Nope, I should be good to go, man.
Uh,
I joined a little bit ago.
no, the stream seems to still be going. Yeah, but, maybe I'll just refresh this page. It kind of freaked me out. Okay. This is kind of like the weird thing that happened to Alan the other night.
Ooh.
Okay, there we go. Scene, okay. That was weird. Alright, we're back in. Kind of freaking me out there, so the stream should catch up any minute now. Okay. And I'm zooming back in and everything seems to be working okay. Sorry. Alright, where were we, guys? Sorry about that.
Crumb was about to order
You're just
a drink.
recapping, and we're sitting at the bar.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So just to kick us back off again. So yeah, Tobin looked a little nervous and he said, "Oh yeah, you guys' rooms are comped for the night." And Ymir comes up. "Well, I'm gonna just put my damn pick right into that wizard's head." And he looks kind of big. Give me a good stiff big glass of the hard stuff. And Dolbin's like, "Oh yeah, okay." You know, he's feeling the vibe of the room. And Harv's like, "Yeah, give me some!" As he's like kind of pushing up in between Darius and them and Obridge. You were still over here talking to that guy, that red brand over there.
If all the red brands were as cool as this guy, man, we wouldn't have killed them all.
Maybe most of them were like that guy. They didn't get a lot of chance to talk. They were like, well, ordered to do stuff. Okay, get these guys. What? You know, I mean, it'd be very interesting to kind of look at it from their perspective because they were just doing what they were kind of told, not really knowing or understanding or, you know, seeing who you guys necessarily were. And then, you know, all it takes is a swing or two. And, you know, anyways, who knows? It's crazy. This is such a crazy idea. All right. Yeah, so he's just sitting there. You know, you bought him a drink. He doesn't seem like he has any desire to fight you at all, you know.
Yep. So I mean, we had a good conversation. Sounds like he couldn't really add anything more. He didn't really know that much. So at this point, I'm just gonna buy one more drink and just say sorry for what happened to your the rest of your crew right there. There was no harm intended by what we did. No intentional harm, that is.
Well, it's like,
But,
There's no true malice.
and he's like,
absolutely.
you know, I mean, he's like, I have to admit, some of those guys were definitely trash people. You know, they were definitely, you know, they were definitely some scums. You know, I mean, those are the guys I try to stay away from and rotate shifts away. You know, I could tell some of them were, you know, had very low moral quality, and me, I'm just a sellsword who needed some work, and that wizard was paying. Well, I guess he's a wizard. I mean, we found out he was a wizard later, but.
Yeah, do you truly believe he had no knowledge of what was going on with the rest of your compatriots?
Well, honestly, I wasn't stationed on that other side because that crazy Gnostic creature that was over there. I was pretty much mostly over there on the other side, and I didn't know that we had anybody over there. I mean, there was that weird, scary tomb, and I looked at that once. I'm like, yeah, you're not paying me enough to go over in here. And I pretty much stayed in the storeroom, or I was pretty much helping them. Yeah, we saw the bugbears come in, and, you know, and he said he paid for those guys to give him information to find out where this cave that he was looking for, but he didn't actually give us a lot of details on the cave. He was pretty greedy with his information. And basically what we were told anytime we were sent out on patrol, trying to bring them back to get first-hand accounts of information, and that would be double the money. And then if they would just give us second-hand accounts, in other words, they just gave us some information in passing, then that was worth, like a gold piece or two, But I'm pretty sure that guy, that the glass staff, because that's all he said his name was to us, that that he did probably turn that guy into a rat, because that rat pretty much stuck to him like glue. That's kind of scary though. Think about it, right?
Absolutely, right there. That's inhuman to do that to someone. But do you believe there's anybody that might have been working with him more closely that might understand his motivations and why things happened the way they did? Because I'll be frank with you. He basically said he had no knowledge of what was happening with the red brands, and he was giving them no direction, and basically he is absolved of any blame of anything that maybe your more unsavory team did to the community. I'd really like to understand if that was truly the case, or maybe he was a little less innocent than he purports to be.
Well, I mean,
just interested in justice for the town.
I mean, Lieutenant, his Lieutenant Calf, of the Red Brands was probably the guy to talk to, but I heard that he didn't make it out of the. And he looks at you, a little nervous at you. I mean, I heard he didn't make it out of the hideout. I mean, we haven't seen anybody come back from the hideout, so. I had some friends there, but I mean, like, I don't have any ill will towards you at all. I mean.
No, and I don't to you, but the glass staff left us no choice. He basically ordered your team to attack us, and we defended ourselves. It's unfortunate that we can't have a more first-hand account of maybe his dealings.
It doesn't seem like that was, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I only talked to him a few times. He didn't really talk to much of anybody. He paid us, but he wasn't. Is there anything left in
the hideout that we could maybe explore?
I don't know.
Give us some insight on what was going on.
Tell me what areas you remember.
We were down in his lab, and he gathered up all his papers, and we took a quick look through those, but didn't really find anything. Just wondering if there's maybe some area that he frequented that we could maybe go back to and try to figure out if he's on the up and up. And
honestly,
is there anything else you could think of that would shed some light on what's been happening?
He didn't hang out with us at all. He pretty much was in his lab and in his room. We'd bring his meals to him. Lieutenant would get kind of frustrated because he was giving reports, and he just said, yeah, handle it, and just literally. He's a wizard. That's what they do, right? They sit and just.
They're weird. Yeah, absolutely.
Ponder books. So who knows what their brains think of, right? Did any
of the other strange visitors maybe that you remember?
I think we came across some orcs. They tried to rob us. Came across some traders, and they told us about the orcs. But nobody had. We haven't really found too much information on, this cave that he was asking about. We've been at this for about a month now, and I did 2 outbound patrols. The orcs tried to get us once, and traders told us to go look up north near, oh boy, what was that abandoned town like? Conberry, something.
That's where they were saying where the caves were?
No, it's an abandoned town to the northeast. I can't remember exactly what they were saying that was there, but the lieutenant would know. But if the lieutenant's still around, he once again looks a little nervous. But if he's not, I think that I heard a rumor that this the guys were talking about that the sister here in town was saying that talking about myths and stories one night when they were in one of the bars about some banshee up north. I don't know. And that she's been around.
What's the name of the sister?
Sister Garaele. These names they came up with. Garaele. How would you pronounce that, guys?
Gariel?
Garaele? Alright. Wasn't too far off. So Sister Garaele, which you guys have met. She's the one who's restoring the chapel, or the shrine in the center of town. And and spoke of like this all-knowing old spirit of the area. And when we were doing our own investigation, like before we did 2 of our outbound trips, we asked some people around town if they had any additional information. And she said there's this ancient spirit, Agatha, a banshee that lives out in that direction, and that she may know for a price. And we're like, well, screw that. The banshee's gonna suck your soul out, and we weren't getting paid enough to do that. And
What's this about a prize?
The Agatha, that spirit, is old and wise, and that she may be able to, that she may know something, but none of us had the guts to go ask her. I don't even think they told Glassstaff about her. Yeah. So, once again, we weren't adventurers. We were just hired mercenaries. You guys look like adventurers. All right, so you guys are having that conversation. Darius, you've been probably listening to that. Crumb, you're at the edge of the bar listening to that. Go back to Jet. Valfred and Anara are sitting there talking just up a storm, and you get the feeling that Valfred is kind of pumping Anara for information, and Anara is kind of lost in the whole idea of kind of explaining to somebody he believes that maybe on his intellectual level, of the interesting things that he found. And so Valfred's kind of tied up with that, and Sildar says, well, it looks like they're getting down to business. Maybe we should leave these 2 wizards do their wizardly business, is what Sildar says.
Okay. And does he move? I agree. I said, yeah, maybe we should head back to the others. And as we get a distance away, I'm going to stop him before he enters with everybody else. I'm going to say, Sildar, a moment, please. Oh, okay. He's already gone.
Well, go through the door. Oh, it's locked? There you go. It's now unlocked.
It's not letting me move through it.
I'll move you through it. Boom, there you go.
Oh, okay. I'll say, a smith can be a brilliant smith, but if his forge causes a fire that burns down the town, he still bears some responsibility. And, your friend Inaro may be useful to this mission, and I understand, but I think there needs to be some type of recompense to this town for the damage his inattention to his tools has caused.
Yeah, I guess, but, he's not wrong. You guys did kill probably 13 to 18 men. So...
Yes. These were 18 men that had attacked us and who had
brigands.
Enslaved women and children from the village and murdered their family breadwinner. So,
yeah, like I said, the way the law works in most lands is that there would be a tribunal with evidence. So, at this point, he said, call a tribunal. Once again, this town really doesn't fall under any direct authority. The closest authority would be a Mountain Ford, so somebody would have to ride back and find the magistrate and have him come out and hear it if you want it impartial without wizards involved. The problem is with these wizards, both of them could just basically say, no, I don't think that flies, and then they would just walk out of here. That's what really sucks. They literally have diplomatic immunity. Right?
Right. Well,
So-
it's only because I know you to be an honorable man that I tolerate the wizard and his ineptitude. And
Well,
I will do my best to work with him, but I'm letting you know that, I am allied with you in the completion of this mission, but that we are watching the wizard, and that if you intend to have the goodwill of the rest of my friends, that there needs to be at least some discussion of some type of recompense later.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could try to petition the Golden Strand. I mean,
I'm letting you know that if the party hears you say that, yes, I acknowledge that there was something that was done and that we need to consult with the Golden Strand, that it will go a long way in getting their support for moving forward.
I think you just honestly, to be fair, young man, I've watched this happen a million times, and the weight of a wizard's words is quite heavy, and unfortunately, we're stuck in a quandary. I'm not saying that he's right. I've known the guy for several years. And I've never seen him this feverish over a project in those few years that I've known him. Now, we weren't adventuring together or anything. He used to be at the Wizard's Tower near Mountain Ford, where I used to be stationed before I mustered out. And then when I mustered out, he was looking for somebody to travel across, country with him to deliver, some messages. And we did, and we went from, Mountain Ford down to Stronghold by the Sea, and spent several months traveling together and enjoyed each other's conversation. He enjoyed my strong arm, and I, of course, his sagely advice. And I've never known him to be a cruel man, and sometimes arrogant. Unfortunately, his station allows him that privilege. I don't always necessarily like his demeanor on how he believes a lot of things are below him. But you're right. I mean, after watching him in the conference room speaking to your friend Valfrid, I mean, it does seem almost it's a level of obsession that I've not seen in him before. Only because, he approached me about a year ago, 6 months ago, about this mission, and that I was somebody he could trust, and he knew Gunrich, and me and Gunrich served years ago, back when we had a detachment of Mountain Ford and Thunderthorn to clear out some orcs down, the east-west connection. And so it just seemed like the perfect opportunity. He said that I knew Gunrich. He had some information about this project that he needed to find, and he kind of assembled the team and financed us, which Gunrich was more than happy to do, because now he had the funds to attempt to find, his ancestral's old mine. And possibly the forge was kind of important to Gunrich, but what was more important was to hopefully bring back his family name and reopen the mine and bring Prosper back to this area where his clan of hill dwarves were, ancestrally found before they were driven back to Thunderthorn with the Orcish Wars when they ravaged these lands and destroyed many of these towns in this area. So
What are the wizards' interest in this mine? Is this just purely the fanaticism of research, or do they have some devices on having?
Well, there's a forge. There's a
Right.
magical forge that was supposedly inside the cave that
Well, I'm just wondering if
immense power.
Gundridge and the wizards might be working cross purposes.
It could be, you know. I don't know. Like I said, Inaro doesn't tell me everything. You know, once again, that's unfortunately, you know, wizard privilege. I mean, I would never have consorted with, you know, bugbears, but, you know, once again, I'm a man of action, and I don't see all ends, and you're right, we can't always... You travel with a goblin and a half-orc, right? I would almost consider, back in the old days, that being a threat, but in these days, you know, we're trying to take a broader mind and take a broader approach, and instead of beating to the military drum like I used to, there's the enemy, charge, boys, charge. You know, I try to weigh the merit of individuals instead of based upon what they look like or what I assume. And I would really take it amongst you and your young companions to kind of think of the same way. You know, it may seem that things was a certain way, and like I said, he seems a little bit more fanatical than I've known him to be. So I am concerned, but it could be that he's been working way too hard on this over the last month without me and Gunrich being here, and it could have made him a little nutty. Let's be honest.
Well, hopefully we can unlock the secrets of the mind and bring prosperity back to at least give some recompense to the people of the town.
Yeah, and when I was asking around, a lot of them were just, you know, yeah, they were being, you know, they were being extorted from a little bit of money. And, you know, these red brands were acting like, you know, like kind of like a thugs, you know, they skim a little bit off the top for more drinking money. It's something that happens in a lot of large cities, you know, the you know, dirty cops or dirty whatever. I didn't hear about anybody being murdered. You know, well, and I heard...
Let's head to the bar. I have someone I would like you to meet then.
Well, okay, let's go.
Okay.
Alright, so the door's open. You should be able to move through it right now, the way that Sildar did.
Yeah, let me zoom in here. Yeah, I can
Hey, there you go. So do you guys see a little door icon that you can open and close?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even see one up at that other door up.
Yeah, neither did I. So
there's one up here.
There's a lock on that door. And I unlocked it, but it didn't open it. So can you guys hear the sound of it unlocking?
I hear a click.
Okay, that's what that is. All right, I'm sorry. Now, Darius, what are you up to?
I'm just drinking at the bar.
All right. You mean Crumb?
Or Crumb, I mean, yeah.
Alright. Well, Crumb, since you were out last week, kind of what you heard, like the talk between Sildar and Jet, that kind of sums up like how everything kind of went. A lot of anger, a lot of he said, she said about, you know, the red brands were killing people, you know, and then Inaro, oh, you basically killed 12 people, you killed all my red brands. And then this is the first interaction, honestly, that anybody ever had with Oberge talking to that one red band where you actually got a chance to talk to a red brand without, you know, violence being ensued from either one party or the other, you know, so... do you have any questions before we move on?
Nope.
All right.
Only that I believe in justice and we should take this to the courts.
Fortunately, there are no courts in this town.
Isn't that convenient for that shady wizard?
Well, yeah, I guess. So, all right. So Sildar and Jet come out and they stand behind you guys. He looks over the red brand, and that one red brand that was talking to Oberge sees Sildar comes out and Jet, and he just kind of raises his mug up to you guys. So, are the two wizards talking it out in there? That's what.
Yeah, we hope so.
They are indeed. The wizards talk of wizard things.
All right then. Well, I won't be going back to our barracks and sleeping tonight. Probably reeks of blood and death. And then he looks over at you guys and see what he just said. And, you know, I never liked it down there anyways. It was always musty. And then he takes a big drink and looks away.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to think about finding new lodging.
Is there anything you wanted to say, Sildar, after hearing everything that went on?
Well, yeah, as I finish up, let's take a walk outside.
Sounds good.
Does everybody go and join Sildar?
Sure.
Sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Alright, let me... Activate new map. Well, bam. Alright, so you guys as a group go out there and a bunch of you guys have your mugs in your hands. And he has his mug in his hand too. And it's
Open
like
container.
he looks
Make sure
over-
to grab some extra drink from the bar to give us all a good refill before I head out.
He looks over at you, Jet, and says, well, from what Ymir, your friend Dwarf over here says, he says he's the sheriff of town. I don't know how that happened, but...
I think it was a matter of they were looking for a volunteer to step forward and everyone else just stepped back.
Okay. Well, now that we're out of the bar and Naro and Velfred are in there talking their wizard stuff, I'll give you guys my straight up opinion of what's going on. I walked around town and I tried to, I haven't been here for very long since I've got back. I did spend some time here a couple months ago getting things ready, and then Gunridge and I and Inaro kind of went our different directions to get the things and gather what we needed. Gunridge went and got his brothers, and then they were down at the academy. I went back to Mountain Ford and, was getting some documents signed for anything that we do find that would be legally bound to our company and the Gunridge and his brothers. And we were all supposed to meet back here. I went down and met Gunridge almost to the academy on the road at a join point, and we traveled the rest of the way up from the academy, and hence that's when we ambushed, and shortly later I met you. He told me that his two brothers went ahead of us by a couple weeks. They were kind of bored of the academy, want to do preliminary scouting, and that they came up here, but we haven't caught up to them yet. Some of the people around town said they were in here for a few days. They kind of, hung out for a while, and then kind of went off into the hills and said they were going to do some preliminary scouting. That's what I kind of got. From what I hear of the Red Brands, they showed up about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And basically that, mostly from what I hear, that there was like a group of like 6 or 8 of these guys that were definitely not doing their job. A lot of people said they all kind of looked alike, but there was a group of them that would kind of hang out at the tap house day or night when they were supposed to be keeping an eye out for town. And they said that most of these guys were kind of bad apples, and they would come and shake down people for drinking money and extorting them. And from what you guys told me, you took care of them, but I can't really vouch for the rest of the Red Brands. So I don't know if this was just a 24 hours of, some stupid mercenaries and some brash adventurers clashing. Unfortunately, mostly to their demise. You know, and Inaro, I'll have to say, I mean, he seems kind of a little bit different than I saw him a couple months ago. It seems like he's progressed a lot in his research that he was doing for Gunrich and I to find the mine, but he's almost obsessive about it to the point where, you know, instead of really, you know, he literally ignored us once Valfred, your wizard, spoke to him and they started talking about it. He pretty much completely ignored us, and they're, you know, that's concerning because I know him to be a little arrogant and mostly an academic scholar. He's definitely not a leader of men. I know that he was, you know, posted in the archives at one time in Bridgegate, and he was also posted in the archives down at Sheldon, I think Sheldon East. Those were his two primary places. But then was traveled throughout the lands, you know, on certain other missions. And I met him that's where I met him when I was, you know, helping move from Mountain Ford to Bridgegate. But he seems to be a little bit too into this, and that is kind of concerning to me. You know, whether he...
And I know you heard both sides of the story, but the willingness that he told the Red Brands to attack us with was very surprising right there. Not something we would think that would come from a Golden Strand member.
Look, he's saying that you guys drew the first sword. You're saying he drew the first sword. I wasn't there. I'm going to have to just take time and figure this out. I'll admit, he seems to be, like I said, very obsessed over this. You know, I've seen wizards who get lost in their research and they wouldn't necessarily, and he looks around and make sure nobody else in town is listening. And it's kind of like pretty late at night, so there's nobody wandering the streets right now. I mean, some of them get damn, you know, obsessive and kind of really kooky when they get older. And Inaro's, he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s. And he's a human, you know, he's not living to 1,000 years old. And, you know, so you gotta understand that I once considered him a good friend. And all I'm telling you is that I have noticed a change. I've only known you and your group for 48 hours, but I know that you're young people of character. I think I can't rule either way. I can't say that he is evil, and I can't say that you and your friends are wrong. You know, this was just a horrible situation, and the only thing I care about is finding my friend Gunridge, and the mission be damned if there's any way that we can save my friends. Hopefully, bring Inaro back from the brink of his obsession. Hopefully it will not drive him mad, and whatever clutches has Gunrich, that's what I need to have accomplished. And I'm hoping that you guys can help me.
We are with you. Absolutely. You've been very fair with us. We understand where you're coming from, and hopefully we can bring justice.
And I'll keep an eye on him, and you know, Jet, you asked for recompense, but there's no real recompense that I can dispense or get. You know, this story is still being written out. Somebody knows that Gunrich has a map and has information about that. Inaro is right. There are other forces that are obviously, you know about what we're searching for. And I don't even know the full story of what Inaro is telling your wizard friend back in the bar about some ancient, you know, forge of magic. You know, that wasn't really, you know, the point. The point was to help Gunrich and his brothers restore his family mine and help to bring prosperity, and I could retire in peace and not all this bloodshed and mayhem. But I'm caught straight in the middle of all this, and this, I mean, I feel I'm back in the old days.
So you
Well,
claim
what do we need
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Darius.
So you claim Inaro is your friend, yes?
Yes.
So then, as your friend, I suggest you ask him to go with you to the nearest Golden Strand facility, and they can interrogate him. You explain what happened, and they can interrogate him, and they can figure out if he's under any other influence or whether he is lying. They have many ways of figuring these things out.
Darius, I don't think you understand how it works in the world. I have absolutely no authority over to them.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
you tell him to do it. I'm saying, as your friend, you say, as your friend, let's go figure this out, and that way we can get this all settled.
Yeah, I
And then we
just,
continue on.
I don't, I mean, I think, young lad, you have a lot to learn about life. It's like, if that's like me trying to tell my company commander, I think that it.
I'm not saying tell
Yeah.
him. I'm saying ask him.
I
Ask him
will.
as your friend. If he is your friend, he will consider it.
I'm sure he. Yeah. Okay.
And if he is an honest man, and if he is a good man, then he will do it.
Yeah. He just
If
shakes
he's not,
his head.
if he does not do it, then he proves himself to be an evil man.
I think you have a lot to learn with the world. It's a lot more grayer than you.
I think you have been corrupted, perhaps by your old age. Then, if you're gonna bring out age, then perhaps you need to retire because you've lost your way.
I have retired.
Then
I
stay in
am
retirement.
retired.
Then stay in retirement. Stay here, old man, and let the youth figure it out, because you are obviously lost.
Okay. Well, and I can see now why, with the amount of temperament as he looks at your fiery young halfling and steps aside, the reason why that probably this got out of hand in the first place. And
The
with
reason
the-
it got out of hand is because he told his man to attack us directly. He ordered the murder of a fellow Golden Strand member. We were all there. We all witnessed it. You can say, oh, well, I don't have all the information. You have multiple witnesses right here. We have multiple witnesses that say that he was part of a slaving ring, and he had, not 150 feet away from where his room was, he had people in prison. And he claims, oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah, bullshit.
Okay. Well, Darius, if you feel so passionate about the law, I would recommend that you go straight to the closest wizard tower, and definitely.
So you're telling me you won't even ask him?
Oh,
go
I
with you.
will
So
ask. I
just
will
wait,
ask
use
him.
use your years of wisdom, your years of friendship, and convince him
All
to
right.
go with you
Look,
to the local tower, and they can interrogate him, and then it will be done. And if he is completely innocent, then we're fine, right?
all right. So he just looks over at you because you're obviously, definitely very emotionally empowered about this, and he just shakes his head and then, well, help me or not, I don't own you, and I have offered you payment. Take it or leave it. And then he just turns and walks away and goes into the bar, and he just shakes his head. Now you're all standing out in the middle of the courtyard.
I think we have a corrupt group here, everybody.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I can't work with that guy. I can't work with an RO. I'm not gonna even be near them at this point.
So the only
Well,
thing I
what
would say
about
at this
Sildar?
point, this is
I can't work with
new
Sildar.
information to him, so he may take time to adjust and to understand. And
I don't think
process
he's going
this
to adjust.
information.
He seems pretty set in his old ways.
Well, I don't see the world in such absolutes. I see the wizard as inept, but wizards wield such power that his ineptitude is something that in all probability wouldn't be held against him even in a court of law in this place.
Well, I believe that the Golden Strand is very concerned in checking rogue members, very concerned in this sort of thing. And if he is a rogue member, if he is turning to the dark side, whatever you want to call it, then that takes priority over anything else going on here, because that is a true threat. If he is willing to use his power to enslave people or to kill people, that are innocent.
So Ymir
then perhaps we
speaks
should
up.
make
Oh,
haste
go
to the
ahead.
nearest Golden Strand
So Ymir speaks
member
up.
to.
Okay, go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, Ymir says, well, I kind of feel for you. I think we should kick both their asses. But, we were charged to help Gunrich. And Gunrich is missing. So we can take time, and he'll make a knowledge roll to see how long it will take you guys to get to where you need to go. Once I can find his character. There's Ymir. And he's going to make a history roll, which isn't very good. Yeah, he says, based upon where I think we are, it would probably take us 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get to Mountain Ford, which would be the closest tower. And then 3 weeks to get back if they hear us. So we're looking about 2 months. I don't know if Gunrich was captured and taken away 3 or 4 days ago. Probably whoever captured him will either use him for the information or he'd be dead. So, if you feel so passionate about this, Darius, I'm with you. But, we would also be failing our mission that our headmaster put us forward to help Gunrich. But, you're right, that guy is a total jerk. And I don't feel right about that wizard either. Sildar, he may be an old fool, but it's his buddy. If somebody accused one of you guys of murder, I would stand up for one of you guys. Even if I knew it was probably right. Because I trust you guys. I went to school with you guys. You're the guys who I put my life on the line for. And you're the guys that actually I know that put your lives on the line for me. And that's where the bond is. So, whatever you guys think is best, I'll follow along. And Ymir just kind of folded his arm. And Harv looked over at Harv. And Harv's like, yeah, wherever you go, boss. I'll follow you.
Do we think that there's any
I will
way?
look at.
Do you think that
It's
there's
like I agree. I agree that we should focus on finding Gunridge, but I think with information from Sildar and the wizard, that would go a lot quicker.
I wonder if there's any proof that we could find that would convince him.
Perhaps in finding Gunridge, we may find that proof at the same time.
Oh,
And I think because of the time criticality with Gunridge, we must pursue that first. And maybe we can make a side trip to perhaps make contact with the Golden Strand, but yeah, I feel that he might be dead if we don't move with all haste.
The other thing is, right now, someone that we do trust, Valfred the Fair, is having a lengthy conversation with the Glass Staff, and I think we should listen to his counsel on how he recommends proceeding regarding the wizard. But I agree.
Absolutely.
I think we need to smooth over things with Sildar. We need to help him find Gunridge, and then at that point decide where we need to go regarding the mine, whether that's to go back and report in that we've completed our mission or to help see this through.
So, okay, you can say something?
maybe I could talk to him. Kind of chuckle and like twirl my horns.
He might want to try and dissect.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
We'll all
I
head
said,
back towards the bar.
Okay, so you guys are going to go
I
back
think
to
we
the bar?
should. I think we should help Sildar find Gunridge.
Okay.
Yep. So I think we let's try to collect Valfred, maybe get some sleep, after we hear him out, and then maybe move out the following day. But
and I think
let's
if
let
we-
him finish up.
And I think next time we talk to him, instead of he's obviously not gonna listen. So we should just say, look, we will find the evidence and we will bring it to you, and we'll leave it at that. And we'll
To
let
who,
him
Sildar?
ponder upon that. Yeah.
Well, we already brought him the evidence. He doesn't want to see it.
I think he needs more.
How much more can you give him? I mean, you have multiple witnesses of all the evils that he's done. I mean,
Well, he needs physical. I don't think he'll listen to us.
We have the physical
Well, that,
evidence of
and
the
if he
slaves
has
that he
been-
captured.
If he's been corrupted by his
Ah,
fanaticism or some other force in looking for this mine, perhaps as we grow closer to the mine, it will bring more of his evil to evidence that even Sildar has to agree with us.
Yes.
The Sildar is also corrupt.
I think he's just ignorant.
Well, and then if we find him, hopefully Gunridge would be able to see that, and if all three are corrupt, well then we call our assignment dud and we head back to the
Take them all
university.
out. Oh, yeah, we can do that too.
Oh, yes. Back to the inn.
You're all in the inn right now. You all walked back in.
We are in the inn.
Yeah. You guys see?
And,
You guys see yourselves?
I do. Is Sildar here or is he gone?
He is not here at the moment.
Hmm.
I think they're plotting.
Hmm.
Or maybe he's just sad because he knows his friend's a jerk.
Hmm. I don't know. At this point, I think I'm ready to call it a night and talk to him in the morning. Well, we should probably
That'd
let
be a
him
good
know
idea.
if we're going to help him find Gunridge that we are with him. So, I will
Yeah,
ask
let's
the
just make sure we
bartender if he's
get
seen-
Alfred back.
Yeah, ask the bartender if he's seen Sildar. Or is he here? Oh,
Yeah,
there
no,
he is.
yeah, he's right here. Yeah, he just threw down 10 gold to pay for your guys' drinks and your meal, and just walked straight upstairs.
Oh. Well, if you could, let's see. We would leave a message with him down here that we need to talk to him in the morning.
And then you see Valfred come in.
And there is our friend Valfred. Tell us of your wizardly doings, and what say you, good sir?
He just says, there's just so much I'm still processing. He is very into his project. Very, very, very into his project. Maybe
Is
even
he evil? Is he corrupt?
I don't know. Why don't you ask one of the paladins? Can't they detect that kind of stuff? That's part of their voodoo of the source, he says. Of their saints. I haven't had any foretelling dreams that
I could try some divine sense.
He's a pretty powerful wizard. I think he's probably going to notice anything that you try.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's already judging me.
I just,
I think he
honestly,
judged us all.
Valfred just says, I just think he doesn't care about anybody. All he cares about is his research. That's the only thing he cares about.
What do you
And-
think? Should we go after saving Gundridge, Valfred?
Yes, that was.
our key course of action. Vice
we were
trying to do
saying-
anything with an arrow.
Yeah, we were sent here on our mission to help Gunridge, and that's still what we're tasked to do and find adventure on the way. If we happen to root out an evil wizard, he kind of whispers his voice. I hope he didn't hear me. Or help a wizard who has lost his mind due to his research, which does happen. That's even more of a story to tell back, and we would definitely win our charters. Right? And
It sounds like a plan. How about we get a good night's sleep and we can basically do our final research and then set out immediately after Gundridge.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
if you guys want to get him drunk and I could step up behind him and do some divine sense, you just let me know.
We'll
Get-
keep that in our back pocket.
get who drunk?
the wizard.
Oh, he's already retired upstairs to his room and to study his notes.
Do you know where Sildar's room is upstairs or anything?
You can figure it out, I'm sure. You know, from a GM perspective, yeah, you can figure it out. You kind of know which room he's in. There's only like 6 rooms up there, so it's pretty slim on how many. Valfred says, "I know that Sildar and Inaro are now sharing a room, but you know they're old companions.
Yeah, we don't judge.
Yeah, I mean half of us are sharing a room.
I suggest we leave a note for him and hopefully catch him in the morning, and then we begin to search for Gunridge."
Now, this is one good thing that did come out of all this, is that Inaro has compiled a bunch of leads, and I can share them with you. So he's heard these rumors because he was telling me he was sending groups of his red brands out into the lands to try to find more information, and he told me of a legend of some kind of old ancient spirit that's within the town of Conanberry, and that may know these lands. He also told me
Is her
that
name Agatha?
Yeah, how did you know?
I was talking to this red brand here over, and helped us out a little bit.
Yeah, I was on that mission. And then he kind of looks at you guys and then goes back and just takes a drink of his. We didn't find much. And he kind of looks over the red brand and kind of raises an eyebrow. And
do you think maybe we should go in the back room and discuss this? Like, look around at the crowd and the red brand?
It's really late at night, and let's see, this person's not there. These people are gone. We don't know where this one went. And let's see, they're gone. So the only people that are really here right now are, you see, Toblin is there, his wife. Oh, that's not his wife. Whoops, who's he been fooling around with then, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
There's his wife. And Elsa's been here. And you guys are pretty much, these guys scoot down, we'll say. And you guys are all up here together. And Elsa keeps coming by, and Sildar, like, unless you guys ask for the good stuff, Sildar basically paid for your food and drink for tonight. So Elsa keeps filling up, walking by and just filling up everybody's glasses, but she always kind of stops and hangs out. This guy, half drunk, went outside, disappeared. And then this is the semi-sober guy who's nursing his drink. He's just kind of hanging out there at the end, trying not to have you guys kill him. But she always comes up and kind of bumps into you a little bit, Jet, and smiles and walks off.
What a dear.
Yeah. A pretty quiet night tonight. And it's pretty late. It's probably like, probably 1:32 in the morning. And you know that the only reason why Dolbin's up right now is because of, all the action that happened like about an hour or so ago. Like, you guys kind of came in as the final crowd was going out for the night. And then Inaro came in when Sildar was there, and then like 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, you guys came in, and then it was just like a lot of pointing, yelling, shouting, and so he was worried, obviously kind of concerned about, his bar, if there was going to be a wizard's duel or whatever here. But now they're just kind of cleaning up the mess as things are kind of calming down. They're just filling your drinks until you guys are done.
Well, do we want to go through leads tonight, or do we want to wait until the morning?
I'd recommend wait till the morning. It's been a long day already. I'd say let's get some sleep with some fresh eyes and ears.
I suggest we leave a note for Sildar to let him know that we are committed to helping him find Gunridge and wish to speak to him in the morning.
Okay.
Sounds like a great idea.
Hey,
Well, we'll
and then Valfred says it's like there's far to the west. There is a lot of the towns in this area are all ruined or haven't been repopulated since the orc surge, a couple decades ago. But there's a druid that lives out there, Reindoth, who's out in that area that supposedly near Thunder Tree that knows at least from what he said his notes were, is that he is probably 100 years old and knows every inch of this entire region and would have answers for us if we wanted to go there. But it's a pretty far trek to head out in that direction. That's like, from what I looked at his map, that is probably 3 or 4 days easy if we're lucky through forests. In the morning I'll break out the map and we can take a look.
Okay, well, hopefully we can, like I said, focus on finding Gunridge.
Well, if anybody would probably know where this Cragmaw keep or castle is, where they supposedly took him, definitely the druid would probably know. But
And that's Reindoff,
yeah,
the druid?
correct. All right, so everybody finishes up their drinks and retire for the evening. Everybody can take a long rest, well needed after that long time, and everybody gets to have their now full power sets up at level 3.
Woo woo.
And anybody have any questions about anything they picked or anything like that?
No.
Looking forward to the new abilities.
Okay.
The Corsican brothers ride again.
Yep. Anybody have any questions about levels up?
No.
Okay, so morning comes around. What time are you guys going to attempt to get up at?
I'd say we should get up pretty early.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe about
Sun comes
6.
up?
What time's dawn right now?
Yeah, dawn's probably at about 6, 7, 6:30. But the problem is you guys went to bed probably like at 1 or so in the morning. So to get a full 8 in, you guys probably wake up about 7 or 8.
Okay.
But these
Sounds
are
good.
nice.
Just trying to make sure nobody beats us out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, so basically you guys get up at about 7 hours, which should be enough rest. You're in wonderful bed, so you could get up at 7, 8, 7:38. Is that early enough for you?
That works.
All right. All right.
Take
So
our morning toilet.
we'll just say basically you guys all start to come down around that time. It was a pretty taxing couple days, and you got one good night's sleep in, but then, then the next night you guys went out and whomped everybody in the Red Brand hideout, and then, so you guys get another good sound night of sleep, and probably over the course of the half hour, all of you guys kind of come down and are serving breakfast. You don't see Tolwyn this morning, but you do see Talina, which is his wife, and Andriana, sorry, and Elsa, who Elsa looks kind of tired. since she worked the late shift last night, one way or another.
Pulled a double.
Yep. When you guys come down the stairs, like in the morning, you notice, this guy, this red band here. You see him?
Mm-hmm.
He was standing at the door, like guarding the door to when you come down the stairs to the banquet room that you guys were talking to Inaro in. And he's there. He's looking tired. He has a big steaming cup of kava in his hand, which is equivalent to coffee and high helm. And as each one of you guys come down the stairs, you're just like, depending upon who you are, you like, he'd like, Strand member Welford, he would give you a nod very politely. And as when, he sees Darius come down, he's like, Master Darius, he seems to have knows every single one of your names as you guys all come down the stairs, and he greets you in a very professional manner as you walk downstairs. Does anybody say anything to him as they walk by?
I will greet him in return. Good morning, good sir.
Nods.
I just kind of look at him suspiciously from the distance.
Okay.
I just give my warning as I go by.
Okay. Yeah. Darius, you just ignore him?
I ignore him. Yeah.
I love it.
Ymir just kind of like grumbles at him. Eh. And Harv kind of grumbles back. Eh. And he just gives a nod, drinking his coffee. Okay, you guys are all down here. You guys could hang out at the little tables, or you can move into the big tables in the other room if you want a little more privacy.
I think that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Okay. Yep.
I'm gonna go up and ask Talea if she knows if Sildar has been down this morning and if he had received our note.
Sildar has not been down yet this morning.
Well, very interesting. Okay, thank you very much. And I will head in with the crew.
Okay, so you guys are all around the table.
Well, it appears that Sildar has either left without paying any attention to himself, or has not been down this morning, or potentially is closeted next door with
Elsa comes in and
the
starts
last staff.
bringing you guys breakfast. The wizard Inara has paid for your breakfast this morning. And she starts dishing out all types of foods and stuff like that to you guys.
How very generous of him. Thank you very much, Angel of the Morning.
Ooh, you see that? She actually
Sure.
bumps you in the back and then gives you a smile and then walks on.
I got a bump and a smile.
All right. Well, you're all gobbling up your food. It's a good hearty breakfast.
I'm not eating it. No.
You're not eating it?
Nope. I'm gonna get my own food.
Okay, so anybody else not eating it? And if anybody cares, Harv already ate a half a plate, so he hasn't died yet.
I take his plate and start eating.
All right, it's good. It's smoked ham, fresh bread, biscuits. There's a big bowl of scrambled eggs. There's some, pot cakes and all kinds of stuff, and it's a good
Heavens.
hearty breakfast.
Gonna go right to my thighs.
Yeah. And
That was very kind of him.
Valfred says to you, all it's like, well, we're gonna need it, and I'm gonna switch over to the map that he lays out onto the table. And here it is. Can you all see the map?
I can see the map. Van Dalen.
Okay, well, all right, my friends. So we're in a tight predicament, and yes, some of us don't like the situation we're in. He looks over at Darius. But we still have a mission to complete, and we'll sort out the rest of this mess later. Now, the one thing I am sure about, that the Wizard Inaro will not leave Fendalen until his mission is complete. His obsession over this and completing this task, I know that unless he's driven by a higher source that compels him to leave here, that he won't leave here until he's gathered all the information and completed his mission. I could assume that unless Sildar comes with us, which he wants to do, that he would probably keep an eye on Inaro, and if some of us don't feel that we trust them until we can consider raising a tribunal or not, then, you know, one of us could stay behind, and perhaps we could take Sildar to kind of find them. Now, I've marked on the map the areas that I've heard of some of these rumors, and he points over here at Conanberry. Maybe he doesn't. Oh, I'm sorry, the scale is so big, guys, that you can't see my... Oh, there it is, okay.
Oh,
You can barely see it, so... Conanberry is up in this direction. And that's where the ancient spirit Agatha supposedly is. Wow, this scale is really off. Sorry, guys. And then over here, he points off. This is where we found the contingents of goblins and rescue Sildar. Now, this is the ruins of Thunder Tree out here by the river, as he points over there. And you guys all see Thunder Tree over there?
Mm-hmm.
And that's areas where I hear the wizard, or the druid, Rindolph, has been spending his time lately. And supposedly out there has been some type of accident that has blighted that town. He's spending his time here, from what the notes that Inara has gathered. And as you see it on the size of this map, that if we go to the north and cross the bridge and head west, would take us to Thunderthorn. And if we head to the east and cross the river off this map, would take us to Mountain Fort, where the closest wizard tower is. If you would like to bring charges against this particular wizard. And that's where we have it. Anybody have any other information they've learned elsewhere that they'd like to share?
I'm going to share what I learned from the Red Brand the previous evening.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to do a quick iteration in character?
Sure. So, unfortunately, I'm a little conflicted, as we felt that the Red Brands were all evil. The one I met last night proved to me that they're not all evil. I think there's a number of them that use the Red Brand disguise as a way to cover up their evil doings and do it in the name of something that was protecting the town. As we saw, that was not the truth, but there are a few members in their ranks that have honor. Unfortunately, he couldn't provide much information on Inaro and what his dealings were, and if he was evil or consorting with other evil beings. I think we saw from our own view that he was consorting with evil beings, but unfortunately that he did not give us any leads and maybe where we could find additional evidence to prove this, or any other individuals he might have been consorting with that we could consult as well. Unfortunately, his lieutenant, as we know, is no longer with us. May have been the only person that could help us. He did provide one piece, I think, of useful information that we could potentially talk to Sister Gariel about a banshee by the name of Agatha that's in the north, basically, that might be able to aid us in our quest going forward. So perhaps we could speak with her before we leave the town and gather additional information. But that's about the most that I could get out of this individual. But he did seem to have honor, so I would take what he told me with all truth.
Well, Sister Gariel is here in town. We could talk to her.
Absolutely.
So
I would
the
recommend
idea
it.
is that by either going to Thunder Tree or Coneyberry, we would get more information on the location of Gunridge.
I think possibly, yes.
Okay, well, we don't have any information on what exactly has transpired at Thunder Tree. If we travel to Coneyberry, we're going to be potentially talking with the undead. Does anybody foresee any difficulties in talking to somebody who is undead? I'll
Always.
give the stink eye to Emir.
Hey, you know, my pick is gonna go where my pick's gonna go. If she makes any harmful gestures, you know, I'll bury my pick in her head. But also, some spirits are not necessarily all malevolent. You have to remember that the saints are also kind of considered spirits, and they speak to us from their spirit form within the source, within their warm embrace. So it just really depends. If she has a horde of zombies, I would probably assume she's evil, which would be okay to put my pick in her head. You know, it just have to see how it all fleshes out, or unfleshes out, as it would be.
Well, let's say we go talk to Sister Gariel and see what she can tell us of the spirit of Coneyberry.
All right. And then Valfred points out, it seems like Sildar also imparted some other information that he gathered from around town. He told me that the town master was still bugging him yesterday about the orcs that are cutting off the trail or to trade to the town. That could be kind of a bonus. A bonus.
The road coming down from the north, or where are the orcs coming from?
He points out, he says that around here, God, I've got to fix the scale of this map. You guys see that?
That comes down by Coneyberry, yeah.
Well, and yes, there's rumors that, and I lost my rumors. I have no rumors to tell you. I'm sorry. Now, one more click of the button. Ah, yes. There you go. That's right. Let me look at my notes. You know how as wizards we love our notes. That, let's see. Yeah, and kind of up there into those mountains is probably where the orcs they're encamped up to the north. There's also talk of perhaps a strange individual who's been scaring the hunters away from the north around the same area that that the orcs are from. But it doesn't seem to be... that information is very vague. So, I don't know.
Well,
I mean, in my opinion, the best bet would be, the druid, probably in Thunder Tree, since he knows the land, but that's like a week, possibly week and a half of going through the forest. And though Ymir is kind of from this area a little bit, he's not the most apt forest dweller. And Ymir's like, yeah, I do okay. Alright.
How far is Coneyberry from here?
Coneyberry is about 4 days on the road, because you're not going through the forest, and if you had transport, it'd be faster. But if you're on foot, going about 24 miles a day, do I even have a scale on this thing? Let me get my measuring tool out. Let's see. All right, as a crow flies, it's 66 miles to, you're assuming, to Coneyberry. And then as a crow flies, about 81 to Thunder Tree through the forest. And that's why the scale's messed up, because that's the distance.
But then Thunder Tree has no road leading to it that we're aware of, and would require us to cross the mountains or circumnavigate down around the mountains, right?
Correct. Now, if we cut through the forest, which is a little bit more dangerous, we could probably do that easily within a day. And then get onto the road and get to Coneyberry in another day and a half or a day. My estimate, I don't know. Actually, let me make a survival roll, and I'll let you know. So we go here, and we look at Valfred. And what does he have for a background? Yeah, okay. He's gonna go with history and try to use that. Is that a natural one? No, it's a natural 20. Never mind.
20.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, my calculations are, of course, precise because I've spent years and years studying academic and wizardry. So I think I'm accurate on both accounts.
Well, I can keep us going in the right direction as long as we can see the stars with my navigational skills, but I am not too familiar with the forests.
Okay.
So I think maybe time being what it is, we cut through the forest and head towards Coneyberry, or should we go talk to Sister Gariel first and see what she says of Agatha? She may say that Agatha is insane and will give us no information.
I think we should do that while we're in town.
Okay. So, so the plan is Coneyberry or bus and head in that direction.
Well, the plan is talk to Gariel first and see
Right.
what she has to say
Okay.
about Agatha.
Alrighty. Now, the one thing that let's see, is that if, going down the riverbank outside the forest, if you get up to the east-west connection to the north, which is a major road, usually patrolled, but not heavily in this particular section, it is a fully paved road, and, you get 1.5 amount of travel on there. And then you could try to go down the river, which, may be faster.
Oh, over to Thunder Tree?
Yeah, and if only had a ranger with you, maybe make better time. Okay, so you all finish up breakfast. Darius, you go order your own food or something so you're not starving. Okay. She would go bring you, unless you wanted to watch him cook it, or I mean, how paranoid are you being?
No, I'll trust him.
Okay. Yeah, then she'd bring you out a plate of food and stuff like that, and you got plenty to eat with everybody else. And, full bellies, good night's rest. You guys head out into the town square. There's actually, you notice there's a little bit more people out in the morning. And Sildar never came in into your guys' banquet hall last night, or this morning, while you guys were eating. And I'll move you back to the town map.
We want to go talk to. Hey, maybe Obridge can go talk to his rent bread friend and see if he can figure out what's going on behind the door in the meeting room there.
I'm afraid that guy is not going to have any more information probably than he had last night. He doesn't seem to be included in many truly important discussions.
Well, I mean, asking him, like, is Sildar in the room with him?
Oh,
Is Sildar holed up with the wizard in there? Is the wizard in there? Is maybe someone else has hired him? He's working for somebody else now.
All right,
Yeah,
so
sure, I can
you can
ask
ask.
him.
Yeah, he says, "Oh yeah, Sildar's been in there since the crack of dawn."
Well, shall we go bid him good morning?
Okay, so now are you all gonna start moving in that direction, or what's the deal now?
I'll wait out
No,
here.
I think we should do a smaller party.
Okay, well, I'll go in because
All right,
not.
move.
I'll stay outside.
Whoever, move yourself through the door. Whoever's gonna go talk to him. I guess Obridge, you'd
Alfred?
probably be over there too. Valfred's
Alfred,
I don't feel a need that we need to talk to anybody. And if you have additional questions for him, feel free. It seems like our task is at hand. If you want, while you're talking to them, we can go talk to, find the sister, if you want.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to let Sildar know that we are not working at cross purposes to him and make sure we're not doing double work.
Okay. All right, so you go in there and when you get to the door, it's like, well, sorry, friend. Let me go find out if they're busy or not before I let you in. I was told not to let anybody in unannounced.
No problem.
Yeah, okay, they're in there, and so I'm supposed to bring you in.
No? Okay.
And this is the sober guy still. So, all right. Anybody else going with him?
I guess not.
I'll go.
All right, good. I was gonna have to be sad if I had described the last thing that Jet heard was a knife being sunk into his back as he died.
I'm definitely gonna go to get.
Because you didn't have a wingman with him. Come on, man.
No, I'm there.
Yeah, where's Crom? I don't see Crom. Is Crom on the map? There he is. Gotcha. There Crom was there. And just so you know, Crom, you weren't overly judgmental when everybody was really heated and yelling and insults were going at the wizard and Sildar and the mission that you missed. I just had you there just soaking it all in so you could make your own decision and whatever. All right, so you guys go in there and Sildar is standing there.
Good morning, gentlemen. I hope the day finds you both well.
Well, good morning to you, Jet. And he gives you a nod to Crom. And
Give a little nod back.
Inaro has all these books and papers spread out, and he's writing stuff, and he has a stack of volumes on this side, and he's grabbing them, and he's not even really paying attention to anybody. And Sildar has on the table laid out a map of the area similar to the one that I just showed you, and it has the same marks that you have on, and he's adding those marks, and he's looking through some notes that Inaro had written, and he's kind of tracking time, and he's trying to pinpoint some locations. He's like, I'm trying to find this Cragmar keep to better help you, or if I have to myself, go out there and rescue Gunridge. But just nobody in town has never heard of this place. But granted, there's not a lot of people that's been here more than 40 or 50 years.
Right. Well, that's I've come to let you know that we are committed to help find your friend Gunridge, and we're thinking about heading towards Coneyberry. We understand that there's an ancient spirit there that may have some knowledge that would help us.
Yeah, it's an old legend. And he moves some notes around. Yeah, Agatha, I think. Be careful.
Yes.
Some say that she's an old witch that was cursed into spirit form, or some say that she's an actual banshee, which, by legend, one scream of those can drive a man's soul straight from his body and kill him instantly, from what I was told.
Well, it's our understanding that Sister Gariel has some information about the spirit, so our friends have headed over towards the temple to see if they might trouble her for some information. And I also wanted to thank you, Master Inaro, for a wonderful breakfast this morning.
And he doesn't even yes. Good luck on your journey. Yes. Bring back any information you find immediately so we can, it helped me finish solving this damn puzzle. And he's not even looking up at you.
Okay, well, that's
par for the
I've been
course.
civil, so yeah. So
and then Sildar you look at Sildar and he just kind of like shrugs, like, and he shakes his head a little bit.
So Sildar, I wanted to let you know before we left that was our intent, to make sure that was not doing anything contradictory to plans that you had or would interfere with anything that you had going on.
I'd assume so, but I'm not quite sure what, Darius seems to be kind of a little off the rails himself. I mean, he doesn't seem to be a law scholar or anything, but has a wizard wronged him or his family any time in the past? He seemed to be quite angry.
The wheels of justice turn slowly, and some of us are less patient than others at its rotation, so.
That is true. Well, if anything, the recompense is that, and he looks over the other red brand that looks a little nervous as you guys are, Crom is standing next to him. The guy standing next to him is the guy who is drunk, who looks like he has a really bad hangover. I think that, fair or not, that having civility in town and not having civility in town could be a detriment to one's lifespan.
Indeed. So, we will then be off, and should we trust that you will be here when we return, or that if you have left and found information that you leave notice here with the bartender for us when we get back, and we can help you out?
Of course, you know that Tolan is an old, friend when we've been coming here over the last year or so, when we started this escapade of trying to help Gunridge. And it's been years in the making. I will leave if any new information. And you look over at Inaro and he's not even paying attention. I will make sure that he gives you the appropriate word, even though other people may be too busy to provide such information. Right, Wizard Inaro? And he's like, yes, of course. If they need money, tell them that I'll look back into my expense account and see if I have any more money if they need money. He's like, looks over at you, and shakes his head,
We're an ever-flowing font of generosity, and we thank you very much. So, yes, then we will be off, and we'll let you know what we found upon our return.
All right. So did the rest of you guys go out and hunt down the sister?
Absolutely.
All right. So as you go out there, and you'll see
quick question. If
Yeah.
if I do divine sense, do they detect that I do that spell? And it doesn't do alignment, right?
No, it's not, and unfortunately, it's not like old school D&D of detect evil. It doesn't work like that anymore. It's
Just creatures or something.
yeah. So what it is that go ahead, if you click on it, you'll put it into the chat window so everybody can look at it. All right. So basically, so the presence of strong evil registers on the sense like a noxious odor, powerful good. Oh, this is kind of interesting. This is
So
kind of.
I want if I cannot if it's not super blatantly obvious, I would like to do that before I exited the room.
How do you know if Anaro just hasn't showered for like weeks? So
And that's you know.
But I don't want to do it in that room if all of a sudden they're all evil and they know that I just did that.
That's a good question. I mean, having it be in a sense, I would assume that there would be no visible trace of it.
I mean, it doesn't even have any components, right? It's just a sense.
The problem is that it's. I'm looking up on the internet. Huh. So, I'm just going to rule it right now that I mean it is a ritual because you have to expend the charge of it in a certain degree. You know, so if somebody was scrutinizing you heavily, I would say they could kind of figure out what you're doing. That maybe you had a migraine or you were trying to clench up so you didn't like go to the bathroom or something, or you're divine sensing. Because
But
it does.
I also haven't been that aggressive, so I don't think they necessarily would.
Well, no. I'm talking like in general what divine sense would be, not necessarily your specific situation. You know, it's like you put a hand to your temple while you clasp your holy symbol and like, and say a small prayer. I mean, or not. But I'm just gonna roll a d20, and if he gets a natural 20,
I could definitely role play. I'm like praying for them.
okay.
But really, I'm doing that.
That's a little deceptive, isn't it? All right, so whatever you do, definitely Anaro, and he still comes up as evil mage. I don't know why. He probably wouldn't. He's not. He's that no matter what you do, yeah. And Sildar, they both are like, just
Not paying attention.
Sildar's like trying to map coordinates, and Anaro is just going through books and papers. So, yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna use it.
All right.
Sense one action.
So go ahead and mark off one of the uses per day because it could be important.
Done.
And so you don't detect a strong evil. So off either one of them. It's more of like, I would say that Sildar kind of smells a little bit like lavender. Maybe. Just a hint. And, Inaro smells like the most boring thing that you ever smelt in your life. What would that be? It's not bad smell. It's not a good smell. It's like, it's like no smell because it's just that bland and boring.
do they have tofu and high helm?
Probably would be the equivalent smelling of a block. And Naro smells like a block of tofu.
There's just no passion.
There's something off about it a little bit because it's tofu, but it's definitely not, basically a giant dog shit that somebody put in a hot dog bun and trying to hand it to you, right? Now that would be chaotic evil. A shit hot dog, that would be chaotic evil, right? Yeah, so, but neither one of them is a celestial or a fiend or undead. So, nobody is a zombie or a vampire or a godling child, or anything like that. So, and that's what it mostly is designed to detect. The location of, it says you register strong sense of evil, like a noxious odor, and powerful good. Rings like a heavenly music in your ears. So, but then that's basically, it's like, at the end of your next turn, that the location of any celestial, which would be the ringing, fiend or undead, which would be the noxious odor. And then, yeah. Well, but Sildar smells a little bit better, like, a light scent of lavender, which means that he's probably some good alignment, right? But he's not like an avatar of St. Helos, which would register as like, like wildflowers, like times 1,000 in your face, right? And then, like, Vampire Lord would be, basically a dog shit hot dog.
Or a sorcerer, like an evil sorcerer.
Well, one, an evil sorcerer is not a fiend, celestial, or undead, but if they were like insanely wicked, like went and burnt down villages and stuff like that, you would detect.
You would detect it.
Yeah, you would, that guy has so much malice, but you probably wouldn't even need to detect it off that guy, because you being a paladin, he'd probably just gunning for you to put another notch in his belt, right?
Right.
Okay. So the rest of you guys go out there and visit Sister?
Yep.
All right, so you guys go out into the square, and you can see her trying to tend to this old shrine that she's kind of rebuilding, and her... Oh, boy. Her, Let me get the town map back. Back here. And she's just kind of tending, the shrine that's like right out here, and putting some fresh flowers on it as you guys walk up to. You see Carp, and you see the kids are all playing around out here on the green, goofing off. Like I said, you see more people walking up and down the street. No sign of any red brands. Everybody's kind of, tipping their hats to you as you guys are walking around. Seeing you have definitely two folks of authority in heavy armor out, so. And she looks up at you. Oh! My two blessed paladins and their companions. Shall I put a blessing upon St. Helos of you for today?
Yes, please.
Oh, you're not there, Crumb. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Ymir is there, and Darius is there, and I guess Valford's there. So Darius, and then she looks over at you.
Orbridge is there too.
Oh, I know Bridge. Okay, all right. So I know Bridge.
We lost Darius.
Did we lose him? Did he drop out?
Yeah. Oh, there he is. He's back.
It was an arrow. An arrow shanked him when he wasn't looking.
That's where the knife went. Exactly. No, are you back there?
He bounced back for a second and then popped out again.
Okay. Well, what happened to that natural luck of halfling luck there? Anyways, we'll take it away, Obridge.
So I can jump in, but I was going to give a paladin a chance to speak up right there, since I'm one of the companions, if they wanted to.
So she says, my brave adventurers, she says, instead of my paladin of the saints. And then she goes, And she met you guys briefly. Let's see if she remembers anybody's names. Yeah, she remembers all your names. Ah, Oberstgrand.
Wow.
Good to meet you. See you again. Valfred the
Good to see
Fair,
you again,
wizard.
sister.
She bows. Ymir, paladin of St. Augustine, of course. It's always good to have one of the other saints here. Looking around, where is the gentle giant of paladin of St. Helos? I wanted to talk to him more, and she kind of rubs her hands together a little bit. What can I do for you folks today?
So, sister, if you could spare a moment of your time, we have a matter of potentially great import to talk to you about. Because we're sorry to take away from your duties, but I don't know if you've heard, but it appears that Gundridge may have been abducted, and we certainly would like to bring him safely back to the village.
Who's Gundridge?
Return him. Gundridge is a gentleman that we rescued recently.
That was Sildar.
Sildar, sorry. I don't know. Anybody else want to jump out with the lore on Gundridge?
Darius?
He is a gentleman we are sent to help. He is in some trouble, and we have a mission to help him out. So we're trying to find his location.
Well, I know that there's a druid in these parts, but I haven't seen him in quite some time. And there is, in fact, I've studied the lore of this specific region. Have you heard of the Banshee Agatha?
That's exactly why we came to talk to you, sister.
Well, the Banshee Agatha, well, to be fair, I'll tell you the truth. As you know, I am just a caretaker of this shrine of St. Helos, and I do not have any ability to tap the source or any divine power in itself, but I am a devout follower, and one day, hopefully, I will see St. Helos' light, and he will guide me upon his path, but I am still waiting. But I hear that the Banshee Agatha is an ancient being, and there was a text that was lost in Cornbury several decades ago when the town was overran, and there was a temple there that was also to St. Helos, and the rumors of that text illuminate its reader to be closer to the source. And being out here in the wild, I would love to get my hands on that text to bring me closer to the saint that I worship. And I believe that since she is such an ancient spirit and from around that area, she may know where that book is, and that would be a great boon for me.
Well, we would be happy to try to get that for you if possible. Is this spirit lucid, as far as you can tell?
The depictions is that she is, from what they say of all banshees, somewhat vain and angry about their existence. They could definitely be very dangerous if attacked or insulted, but they also can be coaxed for information. Honestly, I'm too scared to go myself, but seeing how you have people that actually have been illuminated by the source, perhaps you can speak to this spirit. Maybe she'll give you the answers you seek.
Do you know anything of her history of something that she enjoys or likes or would want? Spirits, as you said, spirits can sometimes be coaxed, so perhaps a gift would be appropriate if we wanted to get information from her.
she kind of ponders the question. What would she... I think something pretty, perhaps. Perhaps a nice silver comb. I do not know her. Yes, perhaps this. And she reaches, goes back. Hold on, just one moment, gentlemen. She goes back into her kind of beat up dwelling, and then she comes up. This was my grandmother's, and you guys see a very nice silver brush that has Elven script on it, on the back side of it, and it looks pretty nice, pretty old, probably worth about 25, 50 gold pieces. And she says, the book, if she knows where it is in Conanberry, would be invaluable to me. And perhaps this gift to her, because legend has it that her beauty was beyond all of this area, and for I believe that her ancestry is elvish, and that perhaps this comb will remind her of it was a comb made by elves. And it's very beautiful. I hate to give it up, but the book to me is more important.
Okay. Well, we will see if she might make a trade.
Thank you. Well, anything else I can help you with? I have some poultices, and I also have some natural concoctions I can give to you on this dangerous journey. I also hear there's orcs on the road, so be very careful out there. No offense, Obridge. They're probably not as well-mannered and honorable as you, but they've kind of slowed down the trade around here lately, and the town master keeps complaining and arguing every time he walks by, and he even comes to the shrine of St. Talos and prays for divine deliverance to somehow to kickstart trade back in this town again, as even the miners that are panhandling for little bits of silver and gold in the local streams are starting to dwindle away, and it would be sad if Feldalver fell back into complete ruin and everybody moved away again.
No offense taken at all, and we would welcome any aid that you could give our party, so we appreciate that.
Okay, so she goes running back in, and she hands to you, and what is your charisma anyways, Overage? I was curious.
My charisma... 10. I'm not very charismatic.
And what's yours, Darius?
I believe I am a 15.
Well, so she'll hand them to Darius, and she'll kind of give you that friendly smile, Overage, but definitely is Darius is much more easier to look at. Thank you, Darius. These poultices, if you apply them, could help drive away potential any infection that you may get, and will probably make your wounds heal even better while in the road. Even though you do have some powerful paladins with you, sometimes the most natural remedies can actually make one feel the best.
Thank you, my lady. Appreciate it. Quite a bit. I give her a nice wink.
She kind of smiles a little bit. And I think she's half elfin as well, I believe. You kind of notice, if I got that right.
It's more jet speed, but...
Maybe not. Maybe Jet's a little bit too flamboyant for her liking. Okay, so...
It's because he smells like fish. That's the problem.
He smells like fish. It's true. And you smell like, good incense from a very fine town.
I, sir, smell of fresh-cut flowers.
Not elderberries? Okay, so you guys meet up outside the inn and the Stonehill, as both of you guys have talked to respective groups, and meet out there. So you guys are out front. Boop.
All right, shall we off?
Indeed,
Yes,
I've informed
so we make
Sildar. He sends us with his good wishes. Is there a before we head out? Is there a Fletcher in town where I can top up my arrows on the way out?
Indeed, there are several places that you could possibly do that. But you know what? Instead of role playing it all out, I'll kind of hand wave it. If you ask, actually, Sildar restocked himself, and he would give you whatever many arrows you need to fill your quiver up. So consider yourself filled up. And if anybody else had any other like minor equipment needs like that, Sildar would have provided for you for that. He says, "Let's find Gunridge, and if it seems like their forces are too heavy, come and get me. Or maybe your wizard could cast some spell to inform me, and I will come with whatever I can muster to help you guys out."
We could probably use some additional healing potions if you can get access to them.
Why don't you make a persuasion roll there, Overscott?
Can do that. No. Character first. Or no, I can't.
Sync up.
Sink it.
Found it again. Boom.
You don't have a.
Oh,
Nice. Okay. Yeah, he gives you 2.
sweet.
He says, yeah, I knew that you guys would be heading out yesterday. Or I would be heading out, either one. But here's 2 extra healing potions for you guys, and here's some extra rations and yada yada yada. You know, a lot of this stuff I kind of thought for myself. Wasn't sure if you guys were gonna head out there or not. But here, definitely take these, and I'll resupply myself later today.
Thank you, kind sir. I'll take one, and anybody else that is low wants the other one,
I don't have one.
then
I
it's
gave
yours.
mine
Yeah,
to Emir. Huh?
I still have some. So.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take the other one if no one else needs it. Everyone else good?
It's yours.
Excellent.
Okay, so you guys grab up your packs. Tolan says, "Are you going to be gone for the afternoon, or should I keep your rooms, or what do you guys want to do? Want me to do?"
We'll be gone for several days, so you can let the room, I think.
Okay. I'll try to accommodate that time frame, about 4 or 5 days, and just be careful on the road, gentlemen. There's, talks of bandits and marauding orcs and other crazy things, and definitely the woods is not the, can be a little hairy as well if you head directly east. Okay, so
Hey.
I think this is probably a good stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, once again, I'm sorry I didn't push us into a little bit faster. But I think we kind of got to at least an amicable understanding. Dave, I hope you definitely played a character, because, man, it was so much emotion. I feel like you're like yelling at me. I feel bad. I hope not. If not, that's fantastic role play, because I could feel your emotion. Or maybe I'm just really good at bringing out the angst in everybody. Who knows? But I think you guys did all a really good job role playing tonight. And now that you guys are back on the road, things will become a little bit more adventure-y instead of dramatic. So I apologize for over-dramatizing some of the games.
Oh no, it's good.
So-
That gave us a reason to hopefully beat Anaro, at his own game eventually.
Well, I mean that definitely is potentially the case. Like I was talking to some of the guys after we signed off, and we're still online, so I'm like, I always tend to see the over dramatize and real life size all events in my games, and you know, I wasn't sure if like this game was meant to be like played like it was when it was first made. It was like really black cutting, you know, it was very black and white. You know, red brands are the bad guys. You know, Inaro's the bad guy. You know, this that. You know, I knew that a bunch of you guys have probably read the module or played it at some point in the last 8 years that D&D 5th edition has been out. But, you know, so that's why I kind of changed it up and tried to, you know, things are not the same as they were in the written material. And I was trying to hope to make it a little bit more interesting for everybody's kind of play style. And, you know, if that's not fun, then you just got to let me know and we'll, you know, definitely make it more exciting of an adventure. So, let me just say thank you for anybody watching, which we didn't have any watchers tonight, which is okay, so I didn't feel bad. But I hope you guys enjoyed our gameplay and fantastic roleplay tonight, and thanks.